Arcane co-creator vows we will learn from it after fan frustrations the Netflix show's rushed final season. Exclusive, we're making this for an audience of people, not just for ourselves. Obviously, a lot of people loved this season 2, which is really important to recognize. And I was even thinking about, okay, so what can we learn from what was done here? Because obviously a lot of people like it. I was part of the group. Doug was too. It was, okay, things were going wrong. But, you know, there were a lot of other people like that saw that. And like when I was on Reddit, if you search the Arcane Reddit subreddit by controversial, it's basically people saying a lot of the things that Doug and I were saying. I felt like so they were out there. That it's not the downvoted people, it's not the complete downvote. Like, what's the word? But the controversial. What's the most controversial things that were said? And so there was a vocal group that was saying a lot of these kinds of things. And I thought that the response here was that the Christian Link says he understands and respects Arcane's fans' complaints over its rushed second season. The show's co-creator admits that some of the issues are a symptom of the show's 2-season format. Link added, it's always nice. I'm sorry?
I said, I agree. I think it should have been 3 seasons, as I'll get to in a second.
Link added, it's always nice to have more to develop a show that everyone loves.
Well, the good news is Arcane season 1 is sitting there waiting for us anytime.
It is there anytime. But the other major thing, well, he does say, I think that part of the issue is a symptom of Arcane being 2 seasons long. Link added, I don't know if fans would have had that feeling if it wasn't for season 1 having a slower pace. But it's a learning for those of us who are making this stuff, and we want to learn from it. I don't want to make something that's jarring, so this is part of the learning process. The specific quote I was looking for. Oh no, so this is a specific quote right here. It says, "For people who tuned in to watch season 2, having loved season 1, I can see how they could have been disappointed because there's a specific pace and a specific way we did things in season 1. Yeah, we changed it for season 2. We wanted to do things a little bit differently in season 2. So yeah, I understand that, I respect that, and I want to learn from that." That's one of the most honest things that I have seen any kind of like showrunner or something say in a long time. It's an acknowledgement of this particular group of fans. Like I said, maybe the minority, it may be the controversial view, but man, that was so nice to me that, like, you know, we're kind of used to hearing if there's a group of people who don't like a show, that means that there's something wrong with them or something. You know?
They have character flaws.
Who didn't like this, there was something that was wrong with them. And so
it must just mean they're racist and sexist.
Right. And so I thought this was a great statement. So yeah, I mean, I don't, and it's right that I have no interest in hating something or being, or whatever. So I thought that was a fantastic acknowledgement that there is this. So this might be some of the more the controversial take on Arcane here that Doug and I have been expressing. Well, and also James Bacon and Sable Phoenix as well. But
I think as time goes on, I think as time goes on, the critics of this will start to slip out there, because this was really heavily front loaded. I know, man, like IMDb, 20,000 tens popped up there like overnight, and it was like, man, according to IMDb, this is the highest rated show of all time, the greatest season of television in the history of mankind, according to IMDb. And I'm like, there's definitely no way that's true. And then when I went on to YouTube, all the influencers were saying positive things. When I went on to look for articles, I was like, okay, this is giving me some Rings of Powers vibes here. Like, it's all positive everywhere, all the time.
I've got a theory as to why that is. Sorry.
Right, yeah. Well, and by the way, that doesn't mean that people weren't really enjoying it, didn't really feel this way. It just seemed excessive from my experience. And so I think as time goes by, the people will soften their position and slowly admit that there were some things that weren't quite right. And I think eventually season 2 will be seen as a very flawed effort. But does that mean that Arcane is dead? No. Season 1 is so good that if you make 8 more seasons, I will return for all 8. So
let's go to
that out there. Keep it going.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
If I can just say this real quick to respond to him, because I think it's because season 1 was so strong, specifically in getting people invested in the characters and emotionally, that it's one of those things where it's like people they're feeling so strongly about it that almost anything they get, they're going to react to.
Right.
So I think that's some of that is definitely, I'm not saying that to say that, like people aren't genuinely enjoying it, but I think that's contributing to people's ability to enjoy it, is that they've been so well primed by season 1, and just like so hungry for the emotional payoffs. That's like anything you get, it's like, emotions. So I think that's really a big part of what's driving that.
Yeah, and I don't want to take that away from anybody. I don't want to take that away from it. It's fun to be a part of a franchise that's red hot, right? It's fun. You're part of a community. You go online and everyone's into it. It was fun to discover that everyone in the world loved Arcane as much as I did. I loved finding that out. So it is heartbreaking when they can't sustain it. And I'm always forgiving the writers, because I always think you're one good story away from bringing it all back, by the way. So.
All right, so the Titter Pig Rancher for $10 got 2 super chats. Then we'll turn it over to Brianna. It says, too many characters were written to swing away from their trajectories in season 1, and then halfway through season 1, swing back towards those original arcs without fully committing either way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, shifting character motivations is a bizarre thing. Specifically with franchise writing of existing characters.
It's 2 seasons crammed into 1 season. That's why I think it feels that way.
Yeah, season 1 was a breakneck pace, Titterpig says. Yet it never felt rushed. Season 2 is actually telling us less, but feels more rushed, which is a testament to abandoning the structure that made season 1 so memorable.
Well,
I kind of agree with that. That there's less meaning. I felt less meaning, overall. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this: one of the secrets about writing, and this was one of my favorite things, and it's something once you learn it, you have to relearn it over and over and over again. Writing is about relationships, a character's relationship to their setting, a character's relationship to other characters, a character's relationship to their culture. So every time I'm writing, what you're trying to describe is that space in between your character and a place, a person, a thing, a time, a culture. That's what you're building out when you're writing. And that's what people respond to. They respond to the relationships in between, all that invisible stuff in between, all the physical stuff. That's really where the magic is. And I think when you hear people say it's character driven, what I think they're really saying is character driven because we see that one character's relationship to all these other things. And then when you shift to another character, you see that character's relationship to all these other things. So that is a secret sauce in writing. Great stories have this, and they build that out really well. And Arcane was almost a masterclass in multiple overlapping relationship status with everything. Your relationship to the magic, hex tech, your relationship to Piltover, relationship to Zon, relationship to the council, relationship to this character, that character. It was all about relationships. And this one, they really lost that. And I felt that was one of the critical swings and misses.